So we are delighted to be partnering with them.
मैंने 75 दिन का रिपोर्ट कार्ड आपके सामने रखा है, लेकिन साथ ही मैं अगले 25 साल का रोड मैप भी लेकर चल रहा हूं और मेरे लिए एक एक सेकंड कीमती है। इस चुनावी माहौल में भी हम अपने कामकाज को लेकर जनता के पास जा रहे हैं, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ क्या है? दूसरी तरफ गुस्सा है, गालियां है, निराशा है। इनके पास न मुद्दा है और न कोई समाधान है। ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? ऐसा इसलिए है क्योंकि इन पार्टियों ने 7 दशक तक सिर्फ स्लोगन्स पर चुनाव लड़ा। ये लोग गरीबी हटाओ कहते रहे, ये स्लोगन से उनकी सच्चाई है। बीते 10 साल में लोगों ने स्लोगन्स नहीं, सॉल्यूशंस देखे हैं।
All right, let's cut across to the video that's surfaced of Prime Minister Modi, who is on a two-day visit to Assam. In fact, the Prime Minister is going to be undertaking a safari ride as well during his two-day visit in Assam. So the first Prime Minister to spend the night at the Assam Police Guest House at Kahara in Kaziranga. Note, this comes after President Draupadi Murmu's Kaziranga visit last year and former President Ramnath Kovind, that was way back in 2022. The visuals on your screens is of the Prime Minister taking an elephant safari at the Kaziranga Park. So this is early morning visual of the Prime Minister. All arrangements, note, are in place at the Kaziranga as NSGs and security personnel have been deployed to ensure enough security is maintained. The Prime Minister is seen undertaking a jungle safari with authorities making arrangements for both jeep and elephant safaris. So there you see the Prime Minister is undertaking that elephant safari. It's going to be about 2 hours ride that the Prime Minister is taking. He will visit Kaziranga, rather is seen visiting Kaziranga, and will then enter the wild through the Kora range. So an early morning visual of Prime Minister who is on his maiden visit to Kaziranga. As we speak, the Prime Minister is seen taking an elephant safari early this morning. Prime Minister embarking on an elephant safari. These are the latest visuals that have been accessed by the public. Visuals coming in early this morning of the jungle safari being undertaken by the Prime Minister in Kaziranga Park. So elephant safari that the Prime Minister has embarked on, this during his two-day visit to Assam. This is not second day of his visit to the state, and on day 2 he is embarked on an elephant safari in the Kaziranga Park. So details coming in that the Prime Minister is going to be there at the Kaziranga National Park for roughly about 2 hours. This is an early morning visual that has surfaced. The Prime Minister has undertaken a jungle safari with authorities making arrangements for both jeep and elephant safaris. He's accompanied by the security personnel, of course, and the personnel who have been deployed, the jungle officials who have also been deployed to ensure security is in place. Roughly a 2-hour visit by the Prime Minister at the Kaziranga National Park. The Prime Minister later in the day will also be inaugurating and laying foundation stone of multiple projects worth around 18,000 crore rupees. Note that the Prime Minister is the first to spend the night at the Assam Police Guest House at Kara in Kaziranga. This comes after President Draupadi Murmu's Kaziranga visit last year and former President Ramnath Kovind, which was undertaken in 2022. So these are early morning visuals. You see the Prime Minister is going on an elephant safari into the wild. A 2-hour ride is what we understand. So a packed schedule for the Prime Minister through the day. The visuals is of that Jeep safari as well as the elephant safari that the Prime Minister has undertaken. A 2-hour ride is what we understand. A packed day, of course, but this is early morning visuals. Note that he's the first Prime Minister to have spent the night at Kaziranga National Park. It was President Draupadi Murmu who had visited last year Kaziranga and former President Ramnath Kovind in 2022, and he's the first Prime Minister to have spent the night at the Kaziranga National Park. He is going to be at the Kaziranga National Park for roughly about 2 hours. The visuals on your screens is of that elephant safari, and on the right side you see that Jeep safari also that was undertaken by the Prime Minister early this morning. In fact, it was at around 5:45 that the elephant safari began, followed by the jungle safari, by the Jeep safari. The visuals again for our viewers who are tuning in. This is the Kaziranga National Park. Visuals from earlier this morning. The Prime Minister is seen visiting the Kaziranga National Park. First Prime Minister to have spent the night at the Assam Police Guest House at Kara in Kaziranga. This also comes, note, after President Draupadi Murmu had visited Kaziranga National Park last year. In fact, former President Ramnath Kovind had also visited the Kaziranga National Park way back in 2022. As we speak, we will try and get more details of Prime Minister's itinerary through the day, but this is an exclusive visual that we've accessed. The Prime Minister who's seen embarking on that elephant safari and the Jeep safari. He will be there for roughly about 2 hours. NSGs and security personnel have been deployed to ensure that everything is in place. He is going to be entering the wild through the Kora range is what we understand. So this is a visual from the Kora range where the Prime Minister is seen undertaking visit to the Kaziranga National Park. We also understand that National Park has been repaired and the Elephant Tower has been beautified with not just elephant safari but with Jeep safari as well, especially for the Prime Minister. And there are the visuals, these are the visuals rather on your screens of the Prime Minister who's seen undertaking the safari. The Prime Minister is going to witness the Indian rhinoceros, Royal Bengal tiger, the Asian elephant, the wild water buffalo, a swamp deer, collectively known as Big Five of Kaziranga. So the Prime Minister is going to be catching a glimpse of the Royal Bengal tiger, the Asian elephant, the wild water buffalo, swamp deer, Indian rhinoceros, collectively known as Big Five of Kaziranga. Important to mention here that the Kaziranga National Park is home to about more than 3,000 rhinos, more than 1,100 elephants, at least 1,000 elephants, hundreds of tigers, and the largest number of Asiatic wild buffaloes as well. So the Prime Minister seen taking an elephant safari and a Jeep safari. A 2-hour ride is what we understand, which began as early as 5:45 a.m. this morning. Note that with more than 2,600 estimated numbers, the world's single largest population resides in the Kaziranga National Park, which offers a perfect habitat for the wild. It contains significant breeding populations of 35 mammalian species as well, of which 15 are threatened as per a red list that's been released. So Prime Minister is venturing in the wild. He's seen catching a glimpse of he's going to be catching glimpses of the Indian rhinoceros, Royal Bengal tiger, Asian elephant, wild water buffalo and swamp deer. And on that note, we are heading into a very short break. On the other side, we'll get you more on Prime Minister's jungle adventure that he has undertaken. More on that on the other side of this short break.
पहले जब मैंने कहा था कि ये दशक भारत का है, अब जब हम पॉलिटिकल लोग बोलते हैं तो लोग यही मानते हैं कि ये तो पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट है, ये राजनेता तो बोलते रहते हैं, लेकिन ये भी सच्चाई है, आज दुनिया ये कह रही है ये दशक भारत का है। और मुझे खुशी है कि आपने एक कदम और आगे बढ़कर अब भारत द नेक्स्ट डेकेड पर चर्चा शुरू कर दी है। ये दशक विकसित भारत के सपनों को पूरा करने का एक अहम दशक है और मैं मानता हूं कि जो भी जिसको इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकता है, कोई भी पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजी हो, कितने ही ऑपोजिशन ख्याल रखते हो, लेकिन ये कहने में क्या जाता है कि भाई ये 10 साल काम करने जैसे हैं, उसमें क्या जाता है। लेकिन कुछ लोग इतनी निराशा की गर्त में डूबे हुए हैं कि उनके लिए न ये सोचना, न ये सुनना और न ही ये बोलना बड़ा मुश्किल हो गया है। कुछ लोग खास हंसी शेयर कर रहे हैं तो स्वाभाविक है कि मेरी बात सही जगह पे पहुंच गई है। लेकिन मैं मानता हूं कि ऐसे विषयों पर चर्चा भी बहुत आवश्यक है, मंथन भी बहुत आवश्यक है। लेकिन साथियों, जिस दशक में हम अभी हैं, जो दशक अभी गुजर रहा है, मैं समझता हूं वो आजाद भारत का अब तक का सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट डेकेड है। और इसलिए ही लाल किले से मैंने कहा था यही समय है, सही समय है। ये दशक एक सक्षम, समर्थ और विकसित भारत बनाने की नींव को मजबूत करने वाला डेकेड है। ये दशक उन आकांक्षाओं को, एस्पिरेशंस को पूरा करने का है जो कभी भारत के लोगों को असंभव लगती थी। एक मेंटल बैरियर तोड़ना बहुत जरूरी है। ये दशक भारत के सपनों को, भारत के सामर्थ्य से पूरा करने का दशक होगा। और मैं ये वाक्य बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण रूप बोल रहा हूं, सपने भारत के, सामर्थ्य भी भारत का।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bopa Health Insurance has come on board as Republic TV's studio.
आज से 5-10 साल बाद किसको विपक्ष देखते हैं? Who do you think will be the opposition to the BJP?
देश में एक प्रकार से बहुत डायनेमिक डेमोक्रेसी है। जो परफॉर्म करेगा देश उसको अधिकार देगा, जो परफॉर्म नहीं करेगा वो विपक्ष में बैठेगा। मगर 10 साल आपने पूछा, इसलिए मेरा एक आकलन कह रहा हूँ, 10 साल तक तो मोदी ही है।
It's 8 a.m. viewers, and here are the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Kaziranga National Park to undertake a 2-hour-long jungle safari at the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to unveil infrastructure projects worth rupees 4,500 crores in Siliguri as makes his third visit to Bengal this month. It also addresses, in fact, the poll rallies will also be addressed as well. Prime Minister to dedicate world's longest bi-lane tunnel during his day-long visit to Arunachal Pradesh today to also lay the foundation stone for 20 developmental projects. Amit Shah and JP Nadda to finalize seat-sharing formula with the NDA allies in Maharashtra. Talks between the BJP and the TDP finalized in Andhra Pradesh. Talks now enter the final stage. Seat-sharing deal likely to be sealed today itself. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif makes big announcements, says Asif Ali Zardari to be elected as the next Pak president. Pakistan to hold presidential polls today. Alright, first up viewers on the Morning Express, we are bringing you these live images in fact of the Prime Minister having visited Kaziranga Park, where he has in fact also spent the night, and we are now getting these visuals. Let's look into those visuals as well coming in of the Prime Minister having spent the time in Kaziranga National Park, where in fact he had also taken in the elephant safari at the Kaziranga National Park as well, and those are the visuals that we're putting out on your screens of the Prime Minister having spent the night there as well. In fact, let us tell you about the entire itinerary of the Prime Minister as well, as the Prime Minister is in Assam, where he has arrived in fact late last night. And we are looking at several other developmental projects as well that the Prime Minister is all set to inaugurate and dedicate to the nation as well. At least 18,000 crore worth of projects that are all set to be inaugurated and laid the foundation stone for by the Prime Minister. In fact, he had landed at the Saloni Bari airport in Tezpur, and then of course had been also welcomed by the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. And now we're looking at the Prime Minister having spent the night in the Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. Now this, of course, viewers, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site where the Prime Minister is taking a visit. He has taken the elephant and the jeep safari inside the Kaziranga National Park as well. These are, of course, early morning visuals that we're putting out on your screens, where the Prime Minister is in fact seen taking the elephant and the jeep safari. And my colleague Anirudh is also joining us. Anirudh, you're there. Please take us through the entire itinerary of the Prime Minister as to how the projects will also be unveiled by him, and also the significance of where he is right now. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and we are looking at these early morning visuals of the Prime Minister having taken in a jeep and a jungle safari on an elephant as well.
Yes, Priyanka. Just now the Prime Minister came out from inside the Kaziranga National Park, and we are getting to know that the Prime Minister went inside at around 5:40 a.m. in the morning. He went for the jeep safari. First, he did the elephant safari inside the Kaziranga National Park, and thereafter he also took the jeep safari. It is an incredible moment because this is for the first time ever that a Prime Minister have ever visited the Kaziranga National Park, and given the Prime Minister's efforts in order to push tourism inside India, it is a remarkable feat for the people of Assam and for the state in general. The Prime Minister have a busy day today across the northeast. He will be also going to Arunachal Pradesh. The Prime Minister was supposed to inaugurate the Sela Tunnel physically today, but due to inclement weather conditions in the higher altitude, it has been learned that the Prime Minister has cancelled his visit to the Sela Tunnel, and instead he will address the rally at Indira Gandhi Park in IG Park in Itinerary, and from there he will be virtually inaugurating the Sela Tunnel. After the inauguration of the Sela Tunnel at around 10 o'clock, the Prime Minister will be he is scheduled to visit the Lasit Borphukan statue at Holongapar in Jorhat district at around 12:10, and after unveiling the grand 125 feet statue of Lasit Borphukan, the great Ahom general from Assam, he will be addressing a public meeting where he will also lay a foundation and dedicate to the nation several projects worth approximately 18,000 crores. Priyanka.
That being said, Anirudh, we also see, how there are going to be a lot of meetings in the backdrop of this two-day visit of the Prime Minister there in the Northeast. And specifically, we saw very warm pictures of Himanta Biswa Sarma also welcoming the Prime Minister, post which we are now looking at these visuals of the Prime Minister at the Kaziranga National Park. So walk us through the details of the Prime Minister's itinerary as far as meetings are also concerned, and of course the projects that are also going to be unveiled, and what all has happened till now that he's also landed there.
Yes, Priyanka. The Prime Minister was, in fact, given a very rousing welcome yesterday evening. People had been waiting all along the road that led to the police guest house in Kohada in Kaziranga National Park, and the Prime Minister spent the night there. People from all walks of life came out on the streets to welcome the Prime Minister, to have a glimpse of the Prime Minister's arrival. People who are living living close to the Kaziranga National Park have been very enthusiastic, and they were looking ahead for the Prime Minister's visit. And as I told you, that this is the first time ever that the Prime Minister is visiting the Kaziranga National Park. This effort made by the Prime Minister will be putting Kaziranga on the global tourism map further in a very, very bold way than it happens to be. On the other hand, as far as meetings are concerned, he met several dignitaries from the state last evening, but there is no official word on any meeting that took place. However, yes, he indeed met the top cabinet ministers of the state on the sidelines of his visit at the police guest house yesterday, and today morning, as we told you, as we are showing the visuals of the Prime Minister going for an elephant ride inside the Kaziranga National Park and jeep safari, and the Prime Minister was also looking forward very enthusiastically in order to participate in the events inside the Kaziranga National Park. Given the inauguration of the Sela Tunnel, particularly I would like to come to that, Priyanka. It is a very, very important initiative because as we all know, Sela Tunnel, constructed at an altitude of 13,000 feet, is an engineering marvel made with completely made in make in India technology, and it is for the first time ever that Indian construction company have constructed such a remarkable tech-based tunnel in the higher altitude, and this Sela tunnel is of very, very strategic importance for India, as we all know it is very close to the line of actual control, and this Sela tunnel will also cut short the time of military response, or you can say military movement, by at least 3 to 4 hours, which itself is a very big in matter of time. And also, as far as public movement is concerned, the Sela tunnel upon inauguration today will cut short the public commuting time by at least 1.5 hours. As people will not have to pass through the rough Sela tunnel, and they can at ease go through the twin tunnels which has been constructed. There are 2 tunnels in the Sela tunnel. One is approximately 900 meters long, and another one is 1.5 kilometer long. And it has all the modern amenities installed inside, including escape tunnel, which has been made for emergency purposes. So overall, Priyanka, this 2-day visit of the Prime Minister is very, very significant, and it is going to have an impact long in the history of the region. Priyanka.
Rightly put, Anirudh, and thank you so much for breaking down the entire details of the Prime Minister's visit and the significance of it. Of course, we will keep coming back to you as and when there are updates. For the moment, thank you, Anirudh, for joining us. Now, viewers, in the national capital, the Prime Minister also distributed the National Creators Award that had also been distributed, and this is an award, in fact, that celebrates the content creators who use their space for social change and revolution as well. Let's take a look at this report as to how the Prime Minister gave out those awards for the very first time.
Prime Minister Modi on Friday announced the National Creators Award 2024 at the Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. The Best Celebrity Creator was presented to young entrepreneur Aman Gupta of Shark Tank fame.
तो सर अभी अगला हमारा बस यही विजन है सर कि इंडिया से कोई ब्रांड अच्छा ब्रांड इंडिया से बाहर जाए, और जैसे यहाँ पे जब कोई फिरंगी प्रोडक्ट आता है और लाइन लगती है, हम चाहते फिरंगी भी हमारा प्रोडक्ट लाइन लगा के खरीदे सर। बहुत बहुत बधाई, बहुत बहुत बधाई।
A humbled Aman shared a few words about his entrepreneurial journey and his next mission.
सन 2016 में जब स्टार्टअप इंडिया स्टैंड अप इंडिया आया था, हमने अपनी कंपनी स्टार्ट करी थी सर। बोट तो जब हमने स्टार्ट करी थी तो लोग बोलते थे कि ये क्या कर लेंगे, ऐसा छोटा सा ब्रांड है, कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे। और आज सर 2024 7 साल बाद सर, वी आर वर्ल्ड्स सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट सर, विश्व सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट ऑडियो ब्रांड सर। 2021 में सर कोविड आया सर, हमारा सारा सामान इंडिया के बाहर बनता था सर। 2021 में आपने मेक इन इंडिया स्टार्ट किया सर, यहाँ पहन के घूमते हैं सर प्राउडली हम। और सर आज के टाइम सर 70% ऑफ आवर प्रोडक्ट्स आर नाउ मेड इन इंडिया सर। तो सर अभी अगला हमारा बस यही विजन है सर कि इंडिया से कोई ब्रांड, अच्छा ब्रांड इंडिया से बाहर जाए। और जैसे यहाँ पे जब कोई फिरंगी प्रोडक्ट आता है और लाइन लगती है, हम चाहते फिरंगी भी हमारा प्रोडक्ट लाइन लगा के खरीदे सर।
The award celebrates the contributions of digital content creators who have brought about positive social change and innovation.
Now, viewers, shifting our focus once again to the Rameshwaram Cafe blast there in Bengaluru, where the investigation is in fact being conducted by the NIA. There are reasons for the investigating agencies to believe that there is a relation with the suspect to the Ballari ISIS module blast, and we are also looking at several pieces of evidences that the authorities have also gathered. Here's more.
A week after an explosion at Bengaluru's popular Rameshwaram Cafe critically injured several people, the suspect continues to be on the run. Republic has accessed clincher CCTV footage that tracks the suspected bomber's escape route across Karnataka. The suspect is first seen walking away from the cafe after 11:30 a.m. on March 1st. He is then seen boarding a BMTC bus wearing a cap, spectacles and a mask. The suspect is then seen on CCTV at the Ballari bus stand at night without his cap. The suspect changed multiple buses and wore a mask to cover his face. The NIA is now investigating a possible link between the cafe blast and a Ballari ISIS module case from last year.
From there, he's boarded a KSRTC bus to Tumkuru. He stayed in Tumkuru for a while, and later he's gone ahead and boarded a bus to Ballari. And from Ballari, he's again gone to a place called as Bhatkal after boarding the bus which was supposed to go from Mantralaya towards Gokarna as well. So these are the leads which the NIA has taken over, and also technically the case has been completely handed over to them from the Central Crime Branch as well.
NIA's lens on the Ballari ISIS module came to light in December 2023 after a plan to carry out a series of IED blasts were foiled. The mastermind of this plan and chief of the Ballari ISIS module is Minas alias Suleiman, who is in the NIA custody. While the NIA intensifies its manhunt for the suspected bomber, the Rameshwaram Cafe has reopened after a week.
With more confidence, and we would like to thank the entire, our country, our nation, to being supportive to us. And this is the power of our country, and each and everybody has stood for us. And I would like to thank all dignitaries and even like our. Even the department, especially the police department, they stood for us. And especially after this incident, once we announced on so-and-so date we're going to launch, they made sure that, on whatever the formalities they have, they finished it. And, 2 days back they given us. So all our entire Rameshwaram team, it was quite challenging for us. Whatever the damage happened to rectify it. So we taken it as a challenge, and, we are there now today.
The critical question remains, what is the larger conspiracy behind this blast? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Shifting our focus now, viewers, to once again the controversy that has erupted over the kind of announcements that have been made by the Prime Minister on social media and specifically on the celebration of Women's Day, announcing that there will be a price reduction of rupees 100 in the cooking gas cylinder and a subsidy of rupees 300 that will be given to the LPG cylinders. But of course, we are looking at a lot of war of words that have also broken out from the political sides in the opposition, who is now criticizing this move and calling it populist. Here's more.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a reduction of rupees 100 in cooking gas cylinder prices on the occasion of International Women's Day. The government also announced the extension of rupees 300 subsidy per LPG cylinder for poor women under the Ujjwala Yojana starting April 1st. However, the politics surrounding the decision is only brewing.
I'm not surprised at all. Look at the timing. Last 4 years, they've been in power for the last 9 years. Why didn't they think of this earlier? Why just when election is 10 days? I mean, it will probably be announced in the next 5 or 6 days is what I hear in the media. Say, aur ek jumla hai bhaiya. Well, I'm not surprised. It's all political. It's not from the heart at all. Financial burden agar karna, if he wanted to reduce it, they should have reduced it by half. In our government, the cylinder was 430 rupees. Why don't they match it to 400 rupees?
भाई मैं तो सबको बधाई देना चाहता हूं, अपनी बहनों को भी। आज अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस है, आज महाशिवरात्रि भी है, तो इसका तो हम सब स्वागत करते हैं। और मेरा तो काम है, इस लाइन मिनिस्ट्री से मैं जुड़ा हुआ हूं। हमारे तो जब भी होती है कोई ऐसी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय डेवलपमेंट और जिससे कुछ कुशन मिलता है, तो उसका जो बेनिफिट है हम कंज्यूमर को पास करते हैं।
Despite beneficiaries elated over Prime Minister's decision, the opposition continues to criticize. While PM Modi's move is set to ease cost burden on households across the country, the opposition continues to fire barbs ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Slipping into a very short break here on the Morning Express. On the other side, we bring you details of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiling infrastructure projects worth rupees 4,500 crores in Siliguri.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
अगला दशक शुरू होने से पहले हम भारत को विश्व की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनते देखेंगे। अगला दशक शुरू होने से पहले भारतीयों के पास घर, शौचालय, गैस, बिजली, पानी, इंटरनेट, सड़क, हर बुनियादी सुविधाएं उसके पास होगी। ये दशक भारत में वर्ल्ड क्लास एक्सप्रेसवे, हाई स्पीड ट्रेन, देशव्यापी वाटरवेज नेटवर्क, ऐसी अनेक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की आधुनिकतम चीजों के निर्माण का दशक होगा। इसी दशक में भारत को अपनी पहली बुलेट ट्रेन मिलेगी। इसी दशक में भारत को फुल्ली ऑपरेशनल डेडिकेटेड फ्रेट कॉरिडोर्स मिलेंगे। इसी दशक में भारत के बड़े शहर या तो मेट्रो या नमो भारत रेल के नेटवर्क से जुड़ चुके होंगे। यानी ये दशक भारत की हाई स्पीड कनेक्टिविटी, हाई स्पीड मोबिलिटी और हाई स्पीड प्रॉस्पेरिटी का दशक होगा। साथियों, आप भी जानते हैं कि ये समय वैश्विक अनिश्चितताओं और अस्थिरता का समय है और एक्सपर्ट्स कह रहे हैं कि सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद ये सबसे अधिक अस्थिर समय अनुभव हो रहा है। उसकी तीव्रता भी और उसका स्प्रेड भी। पूरी दुनिया में कई सरकारों को सत्ता विरोधी लहर का सामना करना पड़ रहा है, लेकिन इन सब के बीच भारत एक सशक्त लोकतंत्र के रूप में विश्वास की किरण बना हुआ है। मैं आशा की किरण नहीं कह रहा हूं, मैं विश्वास की किरण बहुत जिम्मेवारी के साथ बोल रहा हूं। और ये स्थितियां तब है जब हमने देश में बहुत सारे रिफॉर्म्स भी किए हैं।
Welcome back, viewers. Time now for some news in brief from across the globe. The US military will deploy about 1,000 troops to transport and build a floating pier on the Gaza shore in order to get critically needed food and aid delivered to the citizens there. And aid was airdropped in Gaza from an aircraft flying over the strip. The attempts to deliver aid came hours after the President Joe Biden announced that the US military will be setting up a temporary port off Gaza's Mediterranean coast to support the deliveries. And slipping into a very short break here now, viewers, getting you details on the other side of the Prime Minister unveiling infrastructure projects worth rupees 4,500 crore in Siliguri today.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bopa Health Insurance has come on board as Republic TV's studio partner. Niva Bopa Health Insurance is the fastest growing company among standalone health insurance players in India. It has also provided health insurance coverage to 1.1 crore people in India and settled over 15 lakh claims, processing one claim every 60 seconds. So we are delighted to be partnering with them.
मैंने 75 दिन का रिपोर्ट कार्ड आपके सामने रखा है, लेकिन साथ ही मैं अगले 25 साल का रोड मैप भी लेकर चल रहा हूं और मेरे लिए एक एक सेकंड कीमती है। इस चुनावी माहौल में भी हम अपने कामकाज को लेकर जनता के पास जा रहे हैं, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ क्या है? दूसरी तरफ गुस्सा है, गालियां हैं, निराशा है। इनके पास ना मुद्दा है और न कोई समाधान है। ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? ऐसा इसलिए है क्योंकि इन पार्टियों ने 7 दशक तक सिर्फ स्लोगन्स पर चुनाव लड़ा। ये लोग गरीबी हटाओ कहते रहे, ये स्लोगन से उनकी सच्चाई है। बीते 10 साल में लोगों ने स्लोगन्स नहीं, सॉल्यूशंस देखे हैं। खाद्य सुरक्षा हो या खाद कारखानों को फिर से शुरू करना हो, लोगों को बिजली देनी हो या बॉर्डर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को मजबूत करना हो, लोगों के लिए आवास योजना बनाने से लेकर आर्टिकल 370 को हटाने तक हमारी सरकार ने सारी प्राथमिकताओं को एक साथ लेकर काम किया है। साथियों, रिपब्लिक टीवी का सवालों के साथ बहुत पुराना रिश्ता रहा है। नेशन वांट्स टू नो। और ये कहते कहते आप लोग अच्छों के पसीने छुड़ा दिए हैं। पहले देश में सवाल होता था कि आज देश कहां है, देश किस हालत में है। लेकिन देखिए, बीते 10 वर्षों में ये सवाल कैसे बदल गए हैं। 10 साल पहले लोग बोलते थे हमारी इकोनॉमी का अब क्या होगा। आज लोग पूछते हैं हम कितनी जल्दी तीसरी सबसे बड़ी।
It's 8:30 viewers, and here are the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi makes a maiden visit to the Kaziranga National Park, undertakes 2-hour-long jungle safari at the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Prime Minister to unveil infrastructure projects worth rupees 4,500 crore in Siliguri as he makes his third visit to West Bengal this month, and is also set to address poll rallies. Prime Minister to dedicate world's longest bi-lane tunnel during his day-long visit to Arunachal Pradesh today, to also lay the foundation stone for 20 developmental projects. Amit Shah and JP Nadda to finalize the seat-sharing formula with the NDA allies in Maharashtra. Talks between the BJP and the TDP finalized in Andhra Pradesh. Talks now enter the final stage, and the seat-sharing deal likely to be sealed today itself. Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif makes a big announcement, says Asif Ali Zardari to be elected the next Pakistan president. Pakistan to hold the presidential polls today. Now, viewers, keeping you ahead on the Prime Minister's visit to Srinagar, the first visit since the abrogation of Article 370, where he in fact addressed a huge rally and spoke about the kind of development and the trajectory of Jammu and Kashmir since the abrogation as well. Here's a report to understand what's happening with the Prime Minister's visit to Jammu and Kashmir.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi given a royal welcome in Jammu and Kashmir. On 7th March, PM made his first visit to the valley, 4 years after the government successfully struck down Article 370. Addressing a jam-packed rally at Srinagar's Bakshi Nagar Stadium, PM said Jammu and Kashmir is now breathing free, adding that the terror ecosystem has been dismantled.
कश्मीर आज खुल करके सांस ले रहा है। बंदिशों से ये आजादी आर्टिकल 370 हटने के बाद आई है।
As the Prime Minister pledged to keep winning hearts, PM Modi hit out at the Congress and its allies, but without naming the National Conference and the PTP.
370 के नाम पर जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों को गुमराह किया, देश को गुमराह किया। 370 से फायदा जम्मू कश्मीर को था या कुछ राजनीतिक परिवार वही इसका लाभ उठा रहे थे? जम्मू कश्मीर की आवाम ये सच्चाई जान चुकी है कि उनको गुमराह किया गया था।
In a rare pre-election trip, PM Modi said that he considers Kashmir his big family, his parivar.
ये लोग कह रहे हैं कि मोदी का कोई परिवार नहीं है, लेकिन इन्हें देश इनको करारा जवाब दे रहा है। देश के लोग हर कोने में कह रहे हैं, मैं हूं मोदी का परिवार।
PM Modi asked citizens to spend lavishly, as he called for wed in India.
अब मेरा मिशन है वेड इन इंडिया, शादी हिंदुस्तान में करो। हिंदुस्तान के बाहर जो शादी करने के लिए अनाप शनाप रुपये डॉलर खर्च करके लोग आते हैं, जी नहीं, वेड इन इंडिया।
Speaking from the dais of Republic Summit on the same day, PM laid out his vision for Bharat for the next decade.
पहले लोग पूछते थे जम्मू कश्मीर से आर्टिकल 370 कभी खत्म होगा क्या? आज पूछा जाता है कश्मीर में कितने पर्यटक आए, कश्मीर में कितना निवेश आया।
PM and his team are confident of a third term.
जी 10 साल आपने पूछा, इसलिए मैं मेरा एक आकलन कह रहा हूं, 10 साल तक तो मोदी ही है।
As PM Modi continues to strike a chord with the audience with the right vision and policies, the Modi wave is now unstoppable. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And viewers, after the Prime Minister's first visit to the valley, we are also looking at a lot of commotion that is coming to light from the opposition side, specifically the Indie bloc as well. And also we're looking at the developments in forms of the statements that have been made by the National Conference leader Omar Abdullah, who has dismissed and rubbished, in fact, all claims of any kind of alliance with the PDP, to which Mehbooba Mufti, in fact, has called it, quote-unquote, a painful development. And even now, we are looking at the PDP chief, Mehbooba Mufti, also kind of fielding the Congress leaders as well. Let's take a look at this report to understand what's really happening in the political fraternity in Jammu and Kashmir.
With the Lok Sabha polls just weeks away, trouble has been brewing for the Indie bloc in Jammu and Kashmir. This time, it's the Gupkar alliance which seems to have collapsed as internal rifts have re-emerged between the NC and PDP. It all started when NC's Omar Abdullah dismissed all possibilities of an alliance with the PDP, calling the PDP the third party in the state.
इंडिया अलायंस में हमें अपने आप को कमज़ोर करना है इंडिया अलायंस के किसी दूसरे मेंबर के लिए। मैं शायद कभी इंडिया अलायंस में जाता ही नहीं। इंडिया अलायंस में जाने का हमारा एक ही मकसद था जो उसमें गए, कि हमारा मुकाबला बीजेपी और एनडीए के साथ है।
After getting the axe from Omar Abdullah, Mehbooba Mufti remained defiant and said that she is also part of the India alliance.
मगर मुझे डिसअपॉइंटमेंट हुई, मायूसी हुई ये सोच के कि हर छोटी बात पे पीएचडी में मशवरा होता था, फारूक साहब फ़ोन उठा के कहते थे। आज उन्होंने इतनी बड़ी बात कह दी कि पीडीपी जो है वो अलायंस में कहीं नहीं है। तो आज उन्होंने कम से कम अगर वो हमसे मशवरा करते, अगर पीडीपी को कुर्बानी देनी है तो हम कहते ठीक है।
The Indie breakdown in Jammu and Kashmir comes just a day after Prime Minister Modi's first visit to Kashmir since the abrogation of Article 370. Prime Minister Narendra Modi led an all-out developmental blitz in the valley and asserted that the discourse around Kashmir is changing.
पिछले 75 डेज में मैंने करीब 9 लाख करोड़ रुपए के प्रोजेक्ट का शिलान्यास और लोकार्पण किया है। ये 110 बिलियन डॉलर से भी ज्यादा होता है। दुनिया के कितने ही देशों का ये साल भर का खर्च भी नहीं है, और हमने सिर्फ 75 डेज में आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर इससे ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट कर दिया है।
While the opposition continues to struggle to stitch an alliance, Prime Minister Modi has reasserted his vision and slammed Indie for not having an agenda for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Shifting our focus now, viewers, to a major win by the CBI, the top investigating agency, who has in fact now busted a human trafficking network between India and Russia, where the youngsters of India were being tricked into being brought to Russia for lucrative jobs, and then there was a human trafficking angle as well. Let's take a look at this report to understand what really happened with that.
CBI has busted a major human trafficking network running across the country, targeting youths on the promise of offering lucrative jobs abroad. These traffickers have been operating as an organized network and were luring Indian nationals through social media channels. Thereafter, the trafficked Indian nationals were trained in combat roles and deployed at front bases in Russia-Ukraine war zone, many of whom were injured. CBI is conducting simultaneous searches at around 13 locations in Delhi, Trivandrum, Mumbai, Ambala, Chandigarh, Madurai and Chennai. So far, cash amounting over rupees 50 lakhs, incriminating documents and electronic records like laptops, mobiles, desktops, CCTV footage, etc. have been seized. 19 people have been arrested so far for running a fraud company. The individuals, through their agents, trafficked 180 Indian nationals to Russia on promise of jobs. The condition of the Indian nationals stuck in the war zone remains grim.
नमस्कार, हम सब साथी रशिया घूमने के लिए आए थे नए साल पर, और हमें यहाँ पर एक एजेंट मिला। उसने हमें यहाँ पर घुमाया फिराया रशिया में, और वो बाद में हमें बोला कि मैं आप सबको बेलारूस के लिए ले चलता हूँ, वहाँ पर आप सबको घुमा फिरा के लाता हूँ। और वो हमें बेलारूस लेकर चला गया। हमें इस बात का नहीं पता था वहाँ पर वीज़ा की ज़रूरत होती है। वो हमें ऐसे ही लेके चला गया, और वहाँ जाकर हमसे वो पैसे मांगने लगा। मतलब जो उसने पहले पैसे मांगे थे हमने वो दे दिए, उसके बाद और पैसे मांगने लगा। हमारे पास और पैसे नहीं थे। उसने हमको ना वहीं पर बेलारूस हाईवे पर छोड़ दिया, और वहाँ फिर हमको पुलिस ने पकड़ लिया। पुलिस ने पकड़कर रशिया आर्मी को दे दिया हमें। रशिया आर्मी ने हमें पता नहीं कहाँ पर रखा, 3 से 4 दिन रखा। और हमारे आगे एक हमारी भाषा वाला बंदा आया, मतलब उससे फ़ोन पर बात करवाई और हमारे आगे शर्त रखी, या तो आप सबको 10 साल की जेल होगी, या फिर हमारे साथ एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन कर लो जिसमें आपको कुछ नहीं करना है। आपको मतलब हेल्पर की जॉब मिलेगी, खाना वगैरह बनाने में, या ड्राइवर वगैरह की कोई ऐसी जॉब मिलेगी, आप हमारे साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन कर लो। तो हमने वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर लिया। वो उनकी भाषा में था, हमें नहीं पता था उसमें क्या क्या लिखा है। और उसके बाद उन्होंने हमें ट्रेनिंग सेंटर पर डाल दिया। वहाँ हमें जाके पता चला भी हमारे साथ धोखा हुआ है। उन्होंने हमें आर्मी में भर्ती कर लिया है। वहाँ पर हमारे साथ ट्रेनिंग दी गई। ट्रेनिंग देने के बाद हमें यहाँ पर यूक्रेन छोड़ दिया गया। यूक्रेन हमारे साथ, हमारे जो साथी थे उनको ना फ्रंट लाइन पर डाल दिया गया है। हमारे साथ और भी साथी थे, और हम 7 बंदे हैं जो कि 1 या 2 दिन के अंदर हमें भी कह रहे हैं कि आपको फ्रंट लाइन में डालेंगे और आप सबको युद्ध लड़ना पड़ेगा। हम बिल्कुल भी युद्ध के लिए नहीं तैयार हैं। हमें किसी को भी अच्छे से बंदूक भी नहीं पकड़नी आती, और ये हमें फ्रंट लाइन पर डालना चाहते हैं।
CBI has now registered an FIR that shockingly names the Russian president. The Ministry of External Affairs has assured their commitment for a speedy release of the trapped Indian nationals.
Number of people, as I had told you in our last presser, that around 20 people had contacted us. We are doing our best to locate them. We are in touch with the Russian authorities. We have pressed with them so that they can be released and discharged.
From that, the CBI team, the CBI sleuths have recovered 50 lakh cash amount worth, and as per the FIR copy that the Republic TV has access right now, there were 35 students who were misled by those individuals who basically tried to dupe all those students in the name of getting good jobs in Russia.
Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Slipping into a very short break here now, viewers, getting you details on the other side of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to unveil infrastructure projects worth rupees 4,500 crores in Siliguri. And the Prime Minister to dedicate the world's longest bi-lane tunnel during his day-long visit to Arunachal Pradesh today.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
पहले जब मैंने कहा था कि ये दशक भारत का है, अब जब हम पॉलिटिकल लोग बोलते हैं तो लोग यही मानते हैं कि ये तो पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट है, ये राजनेता तो बोलते रहते हैं, लेकिन ये भी सच्चाई है, आज दुनिया ये कह रही है ये दशक भारत का है। और मुझे खुशी है कि आपने एक कदम और आगे बढ़कर अब भारत द नेक्स्ट डेकेड फॉर चर्चा शुरू कर दी है। ये दशक विकसित भारत के सपनों को पूरा करने का एक अहम दशक है और मैं मानता हूं कि जो भी जिसको इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकता है, कोई भी पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजी हो, कितने ही अपोजिशन ख्याल रखते हो, लेकिन ये कहने में क्या जाता है कि भाई ये 10 साल काम करने जैसे हैं, उसमें क्या जाता है। लेकिन कुछ लोग इतनी निराशा की गर्त में डूबे हुए हैं कि उनके लिए न ये सोचना, न ये सुनना और न ही ये बोलना बड़ा मुश्किल हो गया है। कुछ लोग खास हंसी शेयर कर रहे हैं तो स्वाभाविक है कि मेरी बात सही जगह पे पहुंच गई है। लेकिन मैं मानता हूं कि ऐसे विषयों पर चर्चा भी बहुत आवश्यक है, मंथन भी बहुत आवश्यक है। लेकिन साथियों, जिस दशक में हम अभी हैं, जो दशक अभी गुजर रहा है, मैं समझता हूं वो आजाद भारत का अब तक का सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट डेकेड है और इसलिए ही लाल किले से मैंने कहा था यही समय है, सही समय है। ये दशक एक सक्षम, समर्थ और विकसित भारत बनाने की नींव को मजबूत करने वाला डेकेड है। ये दशक उन आकांक्षा
Welcome back, viewers. The US President Joe Biden made a resolute case for himself for re-election during the State of the Union address. He also launched a scathing and a sharp attack against the GOP frontrunner Donald Trump and spoke about how Donald Trump, in fact, has also led to the threatening of freedom in domestic and international affairs as well. Let's take a look at this report.
President Joe Biden delivered a confident argument for a second term in his State of the Union speech.
Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not. But Ukraine can stop Putin. Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons. If anybody in this room
He laced into the GOP frontrunner Donald Trump for jeopardizing freedom at home and abroad.
down to a Russian leader, I think it's outrageous.
Without mentioning his predecessor by name, Biden slammed former President Donald Trump for saying Russian President Vladimir Putin could do whatever he wants with respect to NATO.
Now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, do whatever the hell you want. That's a quote. A former president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable. America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations, created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year. And just this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight. Come here, stand up. Welcome. Welcome.
Biden pledged that the US will stand firm and will not yield to Putin or forsake Ukraine.
That is all. I say this to Congress, we have to stand up to Putin. Send me a bipartisan national security bill. History is literally watching. History is watching. If the United States walks away, it will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away.
The president urged members of Congress to send him a bipartisan security bill that includes aid for Ukraine by saying, history is watching. Agency report, Republic TV.
Now, viewers, Ukraine's energy minister, in fact, cautioned of a nuclear activity at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. He, in fact, also stated that there is an urgent need to curb the Russian presence in Ukraine so as to avoid any kind of nuclear activity as well. Here's a report to understand what happened there.
Ukraine's energy minister issued a caution regarding the potential risk of a nuclear incident at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant.
The general situation is moving to nuclear accident, and it's very important to stop immediately this presence and to return station back to Ukrainian authorized operator. And I really very grateful to all the countries which yesterday support by majority this resolution, and I can tell you that also I was impressed by the messages from observer countries.
The UN nuclear watchdog adopted a resolution urging Russia to vacate the nuclear power plant and restore control to the authorized Ukrainian operator. The text adopted on Thursday called for the urgent withdrawal of all unauthorized military and other unauthorized personnel from Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Halushenko warned that the lax safety standards of the current Russian operator had the potential to cause a nuclear accident.
If something happened in small accident on Zaporizhzhia NPP, that could stop the development of nuclear industry in the world. So that's the issue much wider than the issue of war between Ukraine and Russia and the occupation of nuclear station, because no one will invest money. So I understand why, because if you cannot let's say, explain how you could protect one nuclear station, for instance, in case of the war aggression. So how you could protect them, I don't know, 100 SMRs around Europe. So you don't have an answer. And it means that no one will invest in this. So I think it's very important to understand that this situation could dramatically influence the green transition goals and development of India.
The minister went on to call Russia's handling of the nuclear power plant as craziness, pointing out leakages and placement of mines around the power plant. Agency report, Republic TV.
Slipping into a very short break here now, viewers. Details on the other side of the Prime Minister Modi becoming the first Prime Minister to visit the Kaziranga National Park. The Prime Minister went on an elephant safari and followed by a jeep safari as well. And the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh as well.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bupa Health Insurance has come on board as Republic TV's studio partner. Niva Bupa Health Insurance is the fastest growing company among standalone health insurance players in India. It has also provided health insurance coverage to 1.1 crore people in India and settled over 15 lakh claims, processing one claim every 60 seconds. So we are delighted to be partnering with them.
पहले जब मैंने कहा था कि ये दशक भारत का है, अब जब हम पॉलिटिकल लोग बोलते हैं तो लोग यही मानते हैं कि ये तो पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट है, ये राजनेता तो बोलते रहते हैं, लेकिन ये भी सच्चाई है, आज दुनिया ये कह रही है ये दशक भारत का है। और मुझे खुशी है कि आपने एक कदम और आगे बढ़कर अब भारत द नेक्स्ट डेकेड फॉर चर्चा शुरू कर दी है। ये दशक विकसित भारत के सपनों को पूरा करने का एक अहम दशक है और मैं मानता हूं कि जो भी जिसको इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकता है, कोई भी पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजी हो, कितने ही ऑपोजिशन ख्याल रखते हो, लेकिन ये कहने में क्या जाता है कि भाई ये 10 साल काम करने जैसे हैं, उसमें क्या जाता है। लेकिन कुछ लोग इतनी निराशा की गर्त में डूबे हुए हैं कि उनके लिए न ये सोचना, न ये सुनना और न ही ये बोलना बड़ा मुश्किल हो गया है। कुछ लोग खास हंसी शेयर कर रहे हैं तो स्वाभाविक है कि मेरी बात सही जगह पे पहुंच गई है। लेकिन मैं मानता हूं कि ऐसे विषयों पर चर्चा भी बहुत आवश्यक है, मंथन भी बहुत आवश्यक है। लेकिन साथियों, जिस दशक में हम अभी हैं, जो दशक अभी गुजर रहा है, मैं समझता हूं वो आजाद भारत का अब तक का सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट डेकेड है। और इसलिए ही लाल किले से मैंने कहा था, यही समय है, सही समय है। ये दशक एक सक्षम, समर्थ और विकसित भारत बनाने की नींव को मजबूत करने वाला डेकेड है। ये दशक उन आकांक्षाओं को, एस्पिरेशंस को पूरा करने का है जो कभी भारत के लोगों को असंभव लगती थी। एक मेंटल बैरियर तोड़ना बहुत जरूरी है। ये दशक भारत के सपनों को, भारत के सामर्थ्य से पूरा करने का दशक होगा। और मैं ये वाक्य बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण रूप बोल रहा हूं, सपने भारत के, सामर्थ्य भी भारत का। अगला दशक शुरू होने से पहले हम भारत को विश्व की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनते
Very good morning. Thank you for tuning in this Saturday morning. We are live and breaking. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. The Prime Minister is going to be in West Bengal today as well. His third visit in the last 10 days. Tracking all that and more. First, the top headlines this morning. Prime Minister Modi becomes first Prime Minister to visit Kaziranga Park. The Prime Minister went on an elephant safari followed by a jeep safari. Prime Minister said to visit Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and West Bengal as well as Uttar Pradesh to lay foundation stone of multiple development projects and address gatherings as well. Prime Minister to dedicate world's longest bi-lane tunnel during his day-long visit to Arunachal Pradesh today to lay foundation stone for 20 development projects. Sources inform Republic that BJP may contest more than 30 seats in Maharashtra and Shinde Sena faction could contest 10 seats. BJP-BJD alliance talks hit a dead end. Leaders of both parties state unanimity over seat sharing unachievable. It's a massive blow for the Congress today after releasing first list of Lok Sabha candidates. Ex-Union Minister Suresh Pachori likely to join the BJP today. Very good morning. We start first up with the latest that's coming in from Assam, where the Prime Minister embarked on a safari in Assam's Kaziranga National Park early this morning that is known for its one-horned rhinoceros population. The Prime Minister note first took an elephant safari, which was followed by a jeep safari within the national park's central Kora range. The Prime Minister note also is the first Prime Minister to visit the UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1957. So these are the early morning visuals that are coming in from the Kaziranga National Park. The Prime Minister making his first maiden visit to Assam's Kaziranga National Park, undertaking an elephant and a jeep safari. And as we understand, this is in the Kora range of the national park where the Prime Minister went on an elephant as well as a jeep safari. So this was early this morning, as early as 5:45 a.m. When the Prime Minister started off with the safaris in the jungle. Let's go across to Aniruddha as well. Aniruddha, if you can speak over these visuals that we are putting out, the safaris that the Prime Minister took, as well as the itinerary of the Prime Minister during his 2-day visit to the state of Assam.
Yes, Samiksha, Prime Minister went for safari inside the Kaziranga National Park today morning at 5:40 a.m. and thereafter the Prime Minister enjoyed elephant safari as well as jeep safari inside the Kaziranga National Park. Elephant and jeep both were kept ready, and the Prime Minister, the visuals that has been made available by the park authorities clearly show the Prime Minister enjoying the side at the early hours inside the Kaziranga National Park. Now the Prime Minister is at the police guest house in Kohora, and from there at around 9:45 he will be leaving for Itinerary, where he will be participating in the Viksit Northeast Yatra in Itinerary. He will be addressing a public rally in Itinerary and will be dedicating projects worth several thousands crore to the nation. It may also be mentioned that it is very important, keeping in view that the strategically important Sela Tunnel will be inaugurated today by the Prime Minister in Arunachal Pradesh. The Prime Minister, we are getting to know, that wanted to visit Sela Tunnel physically to inaugurate this massive engineering marvel that has been built with Make in India technology. However, due to inclement weather condition in the higher altitude regions, the Prime Minister's proposed visit to the Sela Tunnel have been cancelled, and now he will be taking part in the event virtually from Itinerary. After the event in Itinerary at 12:10, the Prime Minister will arrive in Holongapar in Jorhat, where he will be inaugurating the 125 feet tall grand statue of Lasit Borphukan, the great Ahom general from Assam, who valiantly fought the Mughals and defeated the Mughals. And in commemorating the 400th birth centenary of Lasit Borphukan, the 125 feet tall grand statue was constructed, was built by the state government, and today the Prime Minister will inaugurate it. And after taking part in the event through this very road, the Prime Minister will arrive at the meeting venue here in Jorhat, and he will be addressing approximately 1.8 lakh people here in this meeting venue today. People from all walks of life have gathered here in order to witness the Prime Minister, and particularly talking about the ladies that you can see on your television screen. For viewers, these are the Lakhpati Baidyos, the Lakhpati Didis who have been especially invited, and they will be listening to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is supposed to the Prime Minister is supposed to dedicate projects worth approximately 18,000 crore today in this program, in this events that he is going to participate both in Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. And this visit of the Prime Minister, particularly to Assam as well as Arunachal Pradesh, is very, very important. It will go a long way in the history, because today morning, by visiting the Kaziranga National Park, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the first Prime Minister ever to visit the Kaziranga National Park and spend the night, in fact, there. And also the inauguration of the Sela Tunnel, as I was mentioning, Samiksha, is of utmost strategic importance for India, because it is very close to the line of actual control. And yes, and as I was telling you, it has been constructed at an altitude of 13,000 feet above probe the Sela tunnel, and it will cut short the military response time, or you can say the military movement, the time that the troops take to move from the nearest base to the forward areas will reduce by at least 3 to 4 hours. If we talk about general public, then the commuting time will be reduced by at least 1.5 hours. So it's going to be a very, very significant development in terms of the outreach that the center has put in regards to the Northeast, Samiksha.
Thank you for the moment. So, Aniruddha getting us the latest on Prime Minister's visit to the Kaziranga National Park and Assam as a whole. For now, the Prime Minister will also be holding a rally in the next few hours in the state of Assam. For now, shifting focus to more newsbreak coming in, this one from the state of West Bengal. All right, to newsbreak that's just coming in, the CBI having added additional sections in the FIR that's been registered against Shah Jahan Sheikh. We understand that CBI has also charged Shah Jahan Sheikh with attempt to murder in the attack on ED officers, which happened on 5th of January. Additionally, sections 307, 326, 392, 395 have also of the IPC have also been imposed in the FIR that's been registered. So an attempt to murder charge that's been added in the FIR that's been filed by the Central Bureau of Investigation against Shah Jahan Sheikh. Note that the TMC Mafia Don remains in custody of the Central Bureau of Investigation. In fact, just yesterday, the CBI also conducted searches at locations linked to the Mafia Don. His accomplices are also under the radar when it comes to the ED attack which happened in the month of January. So the CBI going all out to probe the attack which happened on 5th of January. In the latest attempt to murder charge having been added in the FIR that's already been registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation. All right, let's go across to Saikat, who's joining us from Kolkata. If you can take us through the details of the sections which have been added along with an attempt to murder charge in the FIR that's been filed by the Central Bureau of Investigation against Shah Jahan Sheikh.
Yeah, previously CBI registered 3 FIR at Bashirhat court previously, and especially 2 FIR against Sheikh Shah Jahan on the 5th January incident where Central Investigative Agency Enforcement Directorate and Central Forces was heckled by Sheikh Shah Jahan's goons. And yesterday, after a prolonged search and 3D examine, CBI added 307 section, attempt to murder section against Sheikh Shah Jahan. Yesterday, CBI reached at Bashirhat court and they added this section under section 307, attempt to murder section against Sheikh Shah Jahan, because on the 5th January, when Enforcement Directorate conducted search by ration scam at Sheikh Shah Jahan's resident at Sarbedia area, they are heckled, they has been looted. ED has been looted. ED officers heckled, and Central Forces already heckled at this incident. And after Kolkata High Court order, CBI gets the investigation matter on this issue. And previously, CBI registered 3 FIR on this matter, especially 2 FIR on sandeshkhali matter and 1 FIR lodged at Banga area Shankarado residence matter. And yesterday, after a prolonged search at Shorbedia area, Sheikh Shah Jahan's residence, Sheikh Shah Jahan market, they used a 3D scanner examine, and after a prolonged search, CBI registered CBI added section 307, attempt to murder section against Sheikh Shah Jahan for investigation matter, and a new investigation has been started by Central Bureau of Investigation.
Right, Saikat, if you can once again give us those important details. In total, how many FIRs have been registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation against Shahjahan Sheikh 1, and anything known about the FIR that was earlier registered by the state police as well? Did they essentially add the attempt to murder section in the FIR that the Mamata Banerjee police had registered against Shahjahan Sheikh?
See, state police registered several FIRs, but Sheikh Shahjahan has been arrested on the matter. Was the FIR registered by Gaurav Varil, Deputy Director of Enforcement Directorate, case number 9 at Najat PS area. Sheikh Shahjahan has been arrested particularly at this case, where Deputy Director of Enforcement Directorate Gaurav Varil registered an FIR on 5th January incident. Sheikh Shahjahan has been arrested particularly on this matter, on this case, and state police registered several FIRs. Suomoto FIRs was among them, and Central Investigative Agency CBI registered 3 FIR on 5th January matter. Two FIRs on Sandeshkhali matter. One among these two FIR, one FIR lodged against Sheikh Shahjahan, and this matter has been investigating right now by CBI, and which FIR was used, which FIR was lodged by CBI against Sheikh Shahjahan. Yesterday they added 307 section. Under section 307, attempt to murder case has been registered by FIR, and another FIR was lodged by CBI at Bonga area. On 5th January, Enforcement Directorate registered Enforcement Directorate searches at Shankaradho resident. They arrested Shankaradho, and when they was trying to came at Kolkata to take Shankaradho, they also has been heckled. One registered has been FIR on one FIR has been registered then by Bonga Police area.
Right, Saikat, thank you for the moments of Saikat getting us the latest on Shahjahan Sheikh. The CBI having added attempt to murder charge against Shahjahan Sheikh. For now, moving on to more news break coming in. This one on another defection that we understand could happen within the Grand Old Party. It's former Union Minister and Congress leader Suresh Pachauri, who is all set to join the BJP in Bhopal today. In fact, in just some time from now, the former Union Minister Suresh Pachauri, who's been a veteran Congress leader, is all set to join the BJP. In just some time from now, another setback kicking in for the Grand Old Party just ahead of the general elections. So it's in the state of Madhya Pradesh where that big defection in Congress is going to happen in just a while from now. All right, let's cut across to that reaction as well coming in.
और इसलिए बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं जिन्हें भारतीय जनता पार्टी में काम करना पसंद है, और इसलिए बहुत सारे नेता भारतीय जनता पार्टी में आ रहे हैं।
और भी कांटेक्ट में कांग्रेस पार्टी के बड़े नेता आना चाहते हैं?
काफी कुछ, बहुत सारे।
क्या राहुल का राज नहीं चल रहा है कांग्रेस में? क्या राहुल का राज नहीं चल रहा है कांग्रेस पार्टी में?
अभी आपको 11 बजे पता लग जाएगा, 1 घंटे बाद। पर आज इंदौर नहीं, पर इंदौर से एक बड़ा लाट आएगा, आप चिंता मत करिए।
थैंक यू सर। राहुल गांधी के बारे में
नहीं